crafted about these two teams so far, and oh, here we go. Going to put it to the test. I was about to say, what are we expecting in terms of the actual picks, but hey, questions answered.
So I've got to say, even also important is how you get from point 0 to point A. You do actually need to capture the first point, and Temple of Anubis is absolutely something that you can hold on the first point. Machi is going to have to try and attack it first, and we've seen their prowess on dive pumps, and they're going with exactly that, but look at the defense.
This is really cool out of SunSister. They forced the issue. They're the ones who went in for the fight. They do lose Odin for it. Actually, they've lost Kira as well, have maybe gone too deep on this one and didn't find as many picks as they would have liked, and Rai has also been able to get right in behind them. Now able to drop onto this point where there is only a Winston who is finding himself in an awkward 1 versus 2, now with a Discord orb on him. This opening skirmish, this opening gambit by SunSister has completely blown up.
This is the point where SunSister need to recognize what's going on, back off, and don't give away too much ultimate charge, because like I said before, if you don't play cautiously on the first point, suddenly the enemy team has a huge amount of ult advantage over you going into point 2, and that's already a kill down. The rest of the team are coming up. They've got Pulse Bomb ready. They are moments away from the Dragon Blade.
Rai's just going to go straight forward. If he can get onto Kira, he doesn't even need to do that. He's going for the Winston. Oh, wow, that was a really, really cheeky block with the Diva, but in any case, SunSister are not as established on this point as the attackers, and known as opening up with the Dragon Blade. If he gets a lot, then this could just be a one and done here as he finds Momus. Aloe picked off on the side, and SunSister are in complete disarray as Night Owl gets completely deflected out of the mech, out of the world of the living, in fact. And now Rai, so much work done on this Tracer, is going to get the last kill almost to certainly secure this one for the
that's
Momus.
A big shutdown.
Yeah, nothing out of that one. And again, Rai doing so much work. It's trickling on here for SunSister, but they are not the team that you should think should be trickling. They should have defenders advantage. They don't. And Machi is still doing so hot on this point.
And now that they're starting to control it as well, that respawn is going to start building up for SunSister. They've swapped onto these stalling champions, and even if they hold here, this could be disastrous.
Yeah, again, Kira having to use that bio grenade on himself just kind of cuts their healing in half. Icicle on the point there for the Maid, but Kiyomi with the Transcendence is going to keep his team well healthy so that they can all get on the point past the Maid wall. And the picks continue. SunSister trickling on, and every single time they do, Machi are getting just a little bit more time on this point.
They're buying time, but
Zetman finally, yeah.
But if they have any hope of actually defending this point here, they need to start getting kills. Even one with their respawn advantage should be enough for them to hold here. But at the same time, they're going in one at a time, starting to die, and that is exactly what I talk about when I say going from point A to point B. You've got a big advantage like that. They didn't just have the ultimate advantage. They had kills as well. They went in from the start with a numbers advantage. 5 against 6 with way more ultimates. Of course you're going to lose that round, and that is a quick and easy cap for Machi.
Wow. So, I wonder if SunSister were listening to me. Because if you recall, one thing I did actually say was, when you're on that defense, and I was even talking about it in the context of SunSister, I was talking about it conjecturally, mind you, but when you're on that defense, you do want to do things just to sort of slow down the enemy as much as you can so that you can just outpace them on the offense. And I feel like that's exactly what they were trying to do with that very first ploy where they, on the defense, made a very aggressive move to try and stop the attackers from actually getting set up to make their own dive. They were trying to preempt Machi, who are notably good at preempting, and it actually looked like it was kind of going to work. They did get a pick, but they didn't get a follow-up pick. They didn't really pick a DPS member. Rai was able to get in behind them, and the whole game just spiraled out of control from there. So they were actually trying to do exactly what I was saying, but it just didn't work, and it ended up being a case of high risk, high rewards, no rewards, all risk, all failure. And I don't even think it would have bought them that much time.
No, and the other thing is, like you said, the target selection on actually getting that pick. I mean, sure, you're going to take what you can get, right? Lucio opens himself up, go ahead, kill him. But you've got to recognize that's not going to be the huge advantage that you normally get from taking out a pick. It's not like you've taken out the main tank, the main healer, like the Ana. So instead, you're still running a little bit of risk, because as we saw, Machi turned around and got immediately 2 picks to start that fight off, and then they had the numbers advantage. You don't even need a Lucio once you get through that choke point. You don't need the speed boost there.
Now let's see what Machi do on the defense. If they can maybe be a little bit more consistent with SunSister, maybe not take a play that is quite as risky and just bleed them for time in a slightly safer way.
Well, immediately, they're not diving into the backline, so they're not going as risky just yet.
Are getting dove themselves. They're actually stalling up a little bit of the follow-up of that dive, but it is actually SunSister pretty well set on this point here. They're losing a few too many members now, actually, as Night Owl gets trained down. Kind of good maneuvering there by No Talk to not leave himself too exposed. And actually, SunSister, it went from very good to very bad very quickly there.
So SunSister trying to dive right past Machi, in fact just literally over their heads. They took a lot of damage on the way, and Machi was just able to clean straight up. They've got Rai as well, one of the greatest on Soldier, one of the greatest champions at actually cleaning low health enemies up, and as well as Nonez, he can do the same thing, go in with those resets. So SunSister, they're going for a different approach. They're going from the side, trying to control the high ground here. Oh, this is cheeky, going around through the side here. That's a different strategy that it should hopefully pay off for them.
Oh, but Kira already down. Just so much work out of Nonez there. Mollis, he's trying to keep this one alive for his team, actually able to pick one off Kiyomi even. That's a good way to start off. Yeah, and actually, you're right, both healers down for Machi. SunSister, they look to get set up here, but Mollis does not have a healer kind of topping him off here. And Night Owl is out of the mech. Yeah, this is going to give Rai free reign. He's got Attack Visor as well. Yeah, got Night Owl off his tail, and he's pretty safe here to open that up if he needs. Didn't even need, though, as SunSister just kind of went for the retreat.
And SunSister threw out their only ultimate, which was that Pulse Bomb. It picked up a kill, and like I said, that was actually both healers down during that fight, but now still Machi with a big ultimate advantage. One Nano Visor combo, and suddenly both of those diving champions, that Genji and Tracer, are shut down.
And they've got what they need for the counter dive as well, which is the Dragon Blade on Nonez. They nearly got a Winston ultimate, the Primal Rage, to top that all off. So Odin is going to try and maneuver around this backside and look for squishies to start it off, but honestly, they're not really giving them a window here, Machi, so they're going to have to commit to the fight in an unideal situation. Elu already low. They're going to get No Talk, but that's not the ideal target. The blade is back in the sheath now, as they haven't got enough mileage. Attack Visor out for Rai as he's maneuvered right round to the other side of the fight and just rips them all to shreds. And the clock has been bled down so far now. SunSister, even if they go straight from 0 to A and then A to B, they're going to have a hard one ahead of them.
Who's attacking who? Rai just completely swapped positions with the attackers there, and he just got perfectly in position just to take everyone down with that combo.
Switcherai.
That's switcherai. The perfect plan. How can you stop it? Now, again, they use a few ultimates during that fight, so SunSister, if they want to go in, they've got to go now. They don't have a nano boost, so it's a bit of a riskier Dragon Blade, but at the same time, Mollis has that Pulse Bomb. If you can connect it onto one of the healers, particularly Kiyomi, those tanks are not going to last long. Those flankers as well as Nonez, it's not going to last very long without a healer, so again, it's going to be all in that Pulse Bomb. It has to connect.
Yeah, and they've been able to pick Kiyomi and Restia before, but they need to do it again. There they go. That's a good one, but they've already lost Night Owl at the top of this fight. Odin opening up with the Dragon Blade. No Talk is his target. That's not the ideal one, but he does get him out of the mech. Needs to get the rest of his team following up here, as Odin slowly going to have to back off so that he can get topped up. But Machi haven't lost enough members here for this to have been successful, and now SunSister again are getting picked off. Machi, again, it's Russian tactics. They just abandon the point, and when SunSister have overextended, they come crashing back in, and now with less than 30 seconds on the clock, I don't think SunSister have time to mount a successful offense.
They're just letting him live. They're just letting Night Owl stay out of that D.Va, because now look at it, 15 seconds to go. Your D.Va is only just respawning now. You do not have a lot of time to go in. SunSister have to engage a 5v6 here, and that's against both a Dragon Blade and a Tactical Visor with a soon-to-be Nano Boost.
Oh, classic rope-a-dope as well here for DCR1, getting in behind that, forcing out the Transcendence from Kira, who's now on the point with no Transcendence as Elu is out. There's only one healer left, and he is surrounded and squishy. He can't keep his whole team topped off either, because he is just one Zenyatta. He finally gets picked off, had to watch the rest of his team die first though. And Machi, they have still got so many people here, and despite the attacker's advantage, at no point did SunSister look like they had it in their favor. Machi never won a tight fight